So today we're looking at taking a stand for my family, amen, beyond COVID-19. And I was zeroing into embracing God's best for your family. As an example, where we read is an example of how Nehemiah demanded, amen, or commanded the people to. I pray, oh Lord, to face another day.
As a truncated season, but not without some significance, not the least of which would be giving us our game back. But I want the product, I really do. Everybody thinks I'm crazy and friggin' snake oil and all the rest. But I'm going to tell you something. I've taken all the snake oil out there, and you're right, most of it doesn't.
Weekday mornings 6 to 10. Listen on the 77 WABC mobile app.
The following program does not necessarily reflect the views of WABC Radio.
Welcome to Money Matters with your host, Gary Goldberg. For over 4 decades, Gary has been helping people.
David Hansel is the commissioner at the Administration for Children's Services. He says far fewer calls are coming in from teachers and other school personnel since remote learning started.
We've worked more closely with other systems who are continuing to see children to make sure that they are being vigilant about possible risk to children.
Those include doctors and nurses and homeless shelter providers.
77 is right now in New York City. This is WNYC.
Support for NPR comes from the estate of Joan B. Krog, who's...
WCBS News Radio 880. People arrested for breaking the curfew will not be prosecuted here in Manhattan. DA Cy Vance says the move is being made in the interest of justice. His office says the prosecution of protesters charged with these low-level offenses undermines the critical bonds between law enforcement and...
Look at as we start to open up, which we are expected to do, I think, on June 8th. So before we do that and talk about that.
Is preparing for phase 1 reopening, ramping up testing and tracing with the goal of testing at least 50,000 people today. Mayor de Blasio says they're getting construction.
Be optimistic that there would be a base. If you don't know what that is, we're talking about the Wizards, the Capitals, the Mystics, a number of other franchises that are really important there in the nation's capital. But Mike, before we get to that conversation, let's talk about what went on this week. We're going to talk...
Tenemos un crédito que no tiene que estar...
sería para este momento, ¿no? En ese momento ya creo que está por ahí. Así que apresúrense si desean aquí algo. Rich está por allá en este momento.
They're permitted to worship their God freely. But to worship the one true God at Mass, for example, you're being restricted to do that. Did you know that Bishop Hying, who is the Bishop of Madison, Wisconsin, is going to be on Relevant Radio tomorrow morning on the morning air program? That'll be at 7 a.m. Central. So you'll be able to hear his firsthand account.
牡丹节包括美国。
Priorities to healthcare workers. International Vegan Food Market to online force animal friends to new life. All these and more.
Once the test is complete, you will be given information on the coronavirus and how to access the patient portal of BioReference Laboratories.
Slijede ljude protiv kojih se vode kazneni i krivični sudski procesi. Po najnovijim zakonima stranke
Tú y yo, la flor y la fábula. All the wasted days, all the wasted nights. I'll blame it all on being young. Got no regrets, cause it got me here. But I don't wanna wait. La Nueva York con tu visa de paseo, pero pasaron los días, semanas, meses y años, y yo allí en Santo Domingo, y el amor esperando.
Hit it every day. So that's my basement is almost like an indoor sport court. Okay?
It's easier to hold.
Back with 40 to 50% off outdoor dinnerware, grilling tools, and more. Now at Macy's.com and Macy's stores. We're also excited to introduce contact-free curbside pickup at select stores. Find a participating location near you at Macy's.com/stores. Exclusions apply. At Stop and Shop, we want to help you make the most. This you in
Played at home or not.
More variety from the 80s through today. Next, Lights FM.
Arch Care serves the most vulnerable and elderly.